What happens when a single sentence, spoken calmly on live television, sends shockwaves across an entire industry and leaves millions questioning everything they thought they knew? That was the moment time seemed to fracture when song Hye Kyo, composed and unflinching, referred to Lee Min-ho as her forever partner on live TV. No dramatic pause engineered for effect. No nervous laughter to soften the words. Just a quiet statement, delivered with the same serenity that has defined her career, and yet powerful enough to ignite instant disbelief. For a split second, the studio fell into stunned stillness. The host hesitated. The audience inhaled collectively. Social media, watching in real time, froze before erupting. Because those two words were not casual. Forever partner. They carried weight, intention, permanence. And coming from someone as careful and private as Song Hye Kyo, they felt anything but accidental. This was not a slip. It was a moment that felt chosen. Song Hye Kyo has built her entire public life on restraint. She does not overshare. She does not tease half-truths. When she speaks, she means exactly what she says, and she knows exactly how her words will land. That is why this moment landed like an earthquake. Lee Min-ho, a name synonymous with global stardom, has long been linked to admiration, speculation, and endless rumors. But never before had he been framed in such definitive language by someone of Song Hye Kyo's stature. Not co-star, not colleague, not friend, forever partner. The phrase echoed long after it was spoken. This story isn't over. Subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. We follow the moments and emotions of your favorite TV stars. Stay with us. What made the moment even more arresting was her demeanor. There was no excitement in her voice, no attempt to play into drama. She remained calm, grounded, almost tender in her delivery, as if she were stating a truth she had already made peace with, rather than announcing news to the world. That calm unsettled people more than any dramatic confession ever could. Within minutes, clips of the broadcast spread across platforms at an unprecedented speed. Fans replayed the footage obsessively, analyzing tone, context, expression. Was she smiling? Was she serious? Was it metaphorical? Was it literal? But the more they watched, the clearer it became. She did not correct herself. She did not laugh it off. She did not backtrack. And that silence afterward was deafening. Industry insiders were quick to note how rare such language is, especially on live television. Public figures are trained to avoid permanence, to keep statements open-ended, reversible. Forever is a word almost never used without intent. Partner even more so. Together, they formed a declaration that could not easily be dismissed. And Lee Min-ho's reaction only deepened the mystery. Though not present on the broadcast, his name trended worldwide within minutes. His team offered no clarification, no denial, no attempt to redirect the narrative. Just silence. A silence that mirrored Song Hye Kyo's own. Two silences aligning is never coincidence. Fans were split between shock and awe. Some felt they had just witnessed a historic moment. Others struggled to process the implications. Because if this statement was true, it rewrote recent events entirely. The red carpet walk, the private jet rumors, the synchronized absences. Suddenly, they no longer felt like isolated moments, but chapters in a story quietly unfolding. And perhaps the most powerful element was the maturity of it all. This did not feel like a scandal. It did not feel rushed or reckless. It felt grounded, deliberate, almost protective. As if two people who had already endured the chaos of public love were choosing a different path this time. One built on clarity rather than spectacle. Song Hye Kyo did not say forever lover. She did not say soulmate. She said partner. A word that implies equality, support, shared direction. Something deeper than romance alone. That choice of language matters. Because partnerships endure storms. They are built on understanding, not illusion. And if that is what she meant, then what she revealed was not just affection, but commitment to walking forward together, whatever that means in their private world. The broadcast moved on as live television always does. But the moment did not. It lingered. It followed viewers home. It sparked conversations late into the night. It forced fans to reconsider how much of the truth they are ever meant to see. And it reminded everyone watching that sometimes the most life-altering revelations are not shouted. They are spoken softly, once, and never repeated. Whether this statement marks the beginning of a new chapter or simply a glimpse into something already established remains unknown. But one thing is certain. After that moment, nothing feels the same. Because when song Hye Kyo said "forever partner," the world listened. And it is still listening. And as the broadcast ended, the world did not move on. It stood still, replaying those words again and again, searching for reassurance in repetition, hoping the meaning might change with context. It did not, because what made that moment historic was not just what was said, but what followed after. Nothing. No clarification posts. No emergency interviews. No carefully crafted statements designed to soften impact or redirect attention. In an industry where damage control often moves faster than truth, the absence of reaction felt intentional, almost resolute. Song Hye Kyo returned to her composed silence. Lee Min-ho remained unseen, unheard, but unmistakably present in the conversation. And suddenly, that silence became the loudest confirmation of all. Industry veterans understood immediately what casual viewers might have missed. Live television leaves no room for rehearsal, no space to test reactions before committing. Words spoken there are chosen with care, especially by someone as seasoned and self-aware as Song Hye Kyo. She has navigated decades of public scrutiny without a single careless revelation. To believe this was accidental would be to misunderstand her entirely. This was control, not impulse. Observers began revisiting past moments with new eyes. The quiet confidence of their red carpet walk. The mutual respect in their body language. The perfectly timed disappearances from public schedules. The private jet whispers that once felt like speculation now seemed like preparation. Not for exposure, but for protection. Fans noticed something else as well. Song Hye Kyo did not look nervous after speaking those words. She did not appear relieved, nor overwhelmed. She looked settled, as if a truth had finally been acknowledged aloud, even if only once. That emotional stillness spoke volumes. Because people who are unsure hesitate. People who are testing reactions retreat. But people who are certain remain calm. And certainty has always been her language. The phrase "forever partner" continued to echo because it defied the usual narrative. It was not a fairy tale declaration. It was not romantic excess. It was grounded, practical, almost adult in its restraint. A word choice that suggests longevity built on trust, not fantasy. And that choice reframed everything. If this were a publicity move, it would have been louder. If it were a tease, it would have been followed by smiles and ambiguity. Instead, it arrived softly and stood firmly on its own, refusing embellishment. Lee Min-ho's continued silence only reinforced that gravity. Those who know his history recognize the pattern. When rumors are false, they are dismissed. When stories are exaggerated, they are corrected. But when something matters deeply, he retreats. He protects. He waits. Two people choosing the same response tells its own story. The entertainment world watched closely in the days that followed, expecting the moment to dissolve into speculation. Instead, it matured. Conversations shifted from shock to reflection, from disbelief to acceptance. Because the more people revisited the clip, the clearer it became that this was not a moment of surprise. It was a moment of arrival. Perhaps the most striking aspect of it all is how little explanation was offered. No attempt to define the relationship. No timeline provided. No emotional display demanded. The public was given one sentence and trusted to sit with it. That trust is rare. It suggests confidence not just in the truth, but in the strength of whatever exists beyond the cameras. A bond strong enough to withstand misunderstanding. A connection secure enough to exist without validation. And that may be the most compelling revelation of all. Because in an age where love is often performed, curated, and consumed, this felt different. It felt private even as it was spoken publicly. A line drawn not to invite the world in, but to establish a boundary. This is who we are to each other. This is all you need to know. Whether time will reveal more remains uncertain. Perhaps this is the only statement that will ever be made. Perhaps it is the beginning of a new openness. But either way, the impact has already been sealed. A single sentence. A calm voice. A world left reeling. Song Hye Kyo did not shout her truth. She stated it. And in doing so, she reminded everyone watching that the most powerful declarations are not the ones that demand belief, but the ones that quietly assume it. Forever partner. 2 words that changed the conversation. And perhaps quietly changed everything.